Welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast, your number one source for all things entertainment. Join host Marco Mazzola and his fellow ranters as they sound off on the latest movies, TV, and the world of entertainment. Now, here are your ranters for the hour, Marco, Mila, Larry, and Bruno.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast. I am, as always, your host, Marco Mazzola, and we are brought to you by the Subculture Podcast Network. You can find us online and all of our other podcasts at bio.link/Subculture Pod Network. Let's get into it. Hello, my ranters. Hello, Larry.
Hey.
Hello, Mila.
Ayo.
How's everybody doing this fine afternoon?
Pretty good.
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
good, yeah.
It's good, yeah.
All right, fantastic. That's enough of that.
All right.
All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. X-Men 97.
Yes.
Our review. We're excited.
Yes.
We're excited. It's going to be a switch turn after the last podcast from last week, I think.
I think so.
Yes.
Last week sucked.
Fucking
What is going on with you?
It's a little flu fight. Got him!
I killed one over here.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Probably that trash needs to be taken out, but that's okay. The cleaners will be here on Tuesday. Anyway.
I thought Monday.
Well, it's Memorial Day.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
The magic of podcasting and pre-recording. All right. So, yes. So we are recording on X-Men 97, the TV series, now streaming on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Exciting.
Very.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it looks like it'll just be, this is season 1. It looks like they will be continuing
Yes.
season
Season 2, yeah.
It would appear to be.
Yeah. Let's first go around let's strike that, reverse it. Let's talk about what the overall story arc was for this season. Larry, take it away.
So we start off with Professor X passing. Well, not passing. He 95 left, and he went on the planet. The only way that he could live, he had to leave. So he kind of like leaves his will and testament. He leaves his X-Men, and they're like, well, what do we do without Professor X? And it's now in the hands of Magneto. Yep. So Magneto is now leading the X-Men. And obviously, Scott Summers Cyclops is fucking pissed about that because he's like, we spent this whole time trying to stop this man. Now he's supposed to lead us. And then Magneto's like, well, listen, if your guy, my best friend, felt that it was good for me to lead you guys, I think we could do this. And you only see like Magneto kind of sort of churning a little bit for the sake of Charles Xavier, his best friend. He's like, let's try to make this work. Obviously, that shit goes sideways. Humankind say, fuck you, we don't like you guys. And Magneto's like, see, I told you guys. And then shit ensues. People die. Mutants die. Humans turn on mutants. Come to find out that the old Sentinel Project is actually back into play. And we find out that the villain of this season is actually a mutant that could talk to computers and stuff that Charles Xavier tried to talk to when he was a little kid.
Yeah.
But now he's a grown-ass adult, and he's like, fuck you, I'm the next evolution. So he's going to kill everybody, everybody.
He's turning humans into Sentinels.
And it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
So
everybody on the planet basically.
Everybody, like, it's like a third of the planet is now Sentinels.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is fucking wild.
This is nuts. And like Magneto is just like that tragic character.
Yeah.
Like he's always made out to be a bad guy, but like
he's an anti-hero.
He's just wrong. It's all the time.
But he almost wants the same thing Charles does.
He just wants it in a different way.
He just wants it in a different way.
He doesn't want to subdue to the he doesn't want to be human pets.
Yes.
He's just like, no, I don't mind coexisting, but I'm not going to be second to humankind.
Right.
Like we are the evolution.
Yeah.
We can work together. That's fine.
Yep.
But I'm not going to be second fucking hand. I'm not playing second fiddle to these people. So whereas people that they're trying to like human. And
he just wants to be left alone in a lot of ways.
That's all he ever wanted.
Let us have Genosha. Let us have,
Genosha, Asteroid M.
Let us have our place and leave us the fuck alone.
That's it.
Otherwise, we will fuck you up, and the humans just can't handle it.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe then can there be peace?
The angry bear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, in a way, you almost feel bad because he's like, just leave me the fuck alone. And they won't. So he's like, all right, I have to fuck you up now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, you did it. Now, look, I can't leave you alone because it would look bad. you know, he hit me. I got to hit you back, you know? So you almost, like I said, you almost feel bad for him to some degree. But then, you know, he does obviously take it too far. But, you know, but in some ways in a cool way, he just shuts down the whole planet.
That was wild. He was like...
Yeah, that was crazy.
Right, I played enough. I tiptoed around it. I did a little piddly shit. Now I'm just going to go full on level 5 mega mutant fucking on your ass and just shut the whole planet down.
Shut the whole planet down.
Just so you know.
I'll show you, Magneto.
Anytime I wanted.
And that's the thing, just like, oh, damn, he could have done this at any time.
Anytime he wanted.
I mean, that is a powerful mutant. Yeah. I love... I was talking to you, Mila, about this. Is you didn't see anything prior to this.
No.
I love how when watching this, it refers back to the old cartoons.
Yeah.
In clever ways, too.
Very clever ways where it lets you know, like, when we see Nightcrawler for the first time in '97, he references back. Because, like, he sees Gambit and Rogue, and you're like, wait, how do they know each other? But he kind of, like, lets you in, like, that they did have a past meeting, and he kind of describes it a little bit. He's like, oh, you know, at the back of the monastery, and you're like, and you just, as a watcher, like, oh, okay, well, they met before in another adventure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You know, and they don't dwell on it. They don't... You know, they hit you with it. They let you know that they did know each other, you know, prior. They've worked together, and just let's continue on.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing. Like, I love the fact that they literally continue this from the last episode that we watched back in '96 was the last episode, right?
Right.
So hence the reason why we say X-Men '97.
This would have been the next continuation.
But they can also fill me in on it, you know?
Yeah.
Like... Kind of like how He-Man did like an amazing job. This show also did a wonderful job letting me watch the show. Yeah. You know? Like... Because
the original series was like that, too.
Yeah.
It was like one long interconnected story. So, you know, you should see it, you should watch it, but they will refer back to it so you can kind of catch up.
Right, yeah.
Right? They very much treated it like that Stan Lee model of a comic book, like this show might be your first version of it. So we do need to fill you in on backstory. We know we do, because you might not have seen the original shit. To be able to watch this, you need to know what happened. We're going to fill you in a good way. We're going to fill you in on the old stuff, you know what I mean?
And some of the ways they described like bigger events that everyone should have known is they bring on like new guy, Sunspot, right?
Yeah.
And he, like, they'll go, oh, like this thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what was that? And he goes, what's that?
Well, I mean,
and they go, oh,
what we
well, it was
considered
blah, blah,
a
blah,
filler
so-and-so.
episode with Jubilee was for us a filler episode, but for like you, it was a history episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
it was
it
very
allowed
much
me
a
to get
history
filled
episode,
in.
which filled you in a lot of backstory.
Yeah.
Because that was a massive reference to all the old stuff, which for some people, like, and I talked to other people about it, they loved it. Oh, I got to see this, I got to see that again.
And it was cool, too. It was a really, I thought it was neat.
Whereas we remember all that stuff because we watched it the first time around. It was a bit of a filler episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The Mojo episode, I was like, nah, blah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge Mojo fan, but it is what it's kind of goofy character, but still,
It did what it was supposed to do for me.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and in a fun way.
But out of 11 episodes, one filler
There was
is
the
not.
one.
Also, it was a half filler, so like half of it was filler, the other half was Storm, so it didn't even waste an episode, really.
Yeah. What did you think of the whole Storm storyline throughout it?
That was interesting. You know, it shows a little bit of depth in Storm, but like it also was kind of a waste of time.
I mean, we've seen that before.
Yeah.
A mutant loses
like,
their powers.
Yeah, exactly. Mutant loses powers. Oh no. Am I a mutant? Am I human?
We've gone through that before.
I don't know. But I'm sad that it was Storm that it was Storm's part.
It was tragic in the moment. You know?
It was like you had, out of all the characters, you did it to Storm. She's second in command.
Yeah.
After Cyclops, you know, and it's like she was going to sacrifice.
She's also like an Omega 11 mutant.
Right. So like she goes to sacrifice herself so Charles doesn't get hit with it, right? Yeah. And she gets her powers taken away, and I'm like, oh, out of all the fucking people, you had to do it. Just like you couldn't do
Magneto
it. Magneto
doesn't get hit with it.
That's as I was saying. I was like, no, it was Magneto. Yep. It's like she sacrificed herself for Magneto, right?
Yeah.
And she's like the epitome of Charles Xavier. Like Charles Xavier had this vision, and Storm is right behind there with the same exact vision. Scott kind of weans in and out of it, right? But Storm has always ridden that passion for we need to have humanity, we need to have that balance. So for her to
Scott gets very tied up into his personal family stuff where he wants to
he's a wine bag.
Oh, he's a total wine bag. He wants to break away and just have his family, have his wife, have his kids.
He's always been a wine bag, I feel. You know, so when to take Storm's powers away, that fucking killed me because she's such a strong character. And
it was also really tragic seeing it because like the way she just suddenly goes like. I can't feel the atmosphere. I can't feel the wind. I can't feel the air.
It's a cartoon, and I was like, no!
I was like, storm!
But there was a bunch of that in this, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be obviously riddled with spoilers, but like, when Gambit bites it. You know what I mean?
Dude,
no way! That was crazy.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
I was floored. I was like, you did it.
That is one of my top characters.
Same. No, I love Gambit.
Remy LeBeau gets whacked.
I know.
And then they have his funeral. Again, another cool thing. You see his brother. You see both guilds there.
Yeah.
And if you watch this, you wouldn't get the reference because you didn't watch it.
And luckily they didn't make it too much of a thing
they don't
either.
Make it it's just one of those things like.
But it's cool for
like
you.
An Easter egg.
Cool for you, not an inconvenience for me.
Not an inconvenience. Right. It had it was the thieves and then what was the other guild?
I forget.
So
the other ones.
So it was the two guilds that he was a part of.
That's really cool.
He was part of the Thieves Guild back in New Orleans, and then there was the other guild, and I can't remember. And every year they were supposed to bring a totem up to the god, and whoever doesn't bring their totem, the other guild gets all the power, and it was like, we are supreme. So when he's at his funeral, you see his brother, and then you see the queen of the other guild, which was originally Gambit's girlfriend. So there's a little episode when he goes back down there and she wants him back, and it's supposed to unify both guilds. But it was just cool to see them there. Like they reference it, and if you know, you know. If you don't, it doesn't hinder the story.
Right, exactly.
But it was cool. And I love
really
that
cool.
They did that throughout this whole series, and the fanfare in this fucking series was amazing. They reference old shit. They bring you in.
And you're usually not a huge fan of
fan service?
Yeah.
I'm really not.
Yeah.
Well, because
I love
when people do fan service, I feel that they just do it too much. When they rely...
Yeah, when it's a crutch. Right. That's when it's an issue for me.
That's when I have a problem. When they're relying too much on the fan service to carry the story along.
There's not enough depth in the story.
Yeah, that's when I have an issue.
Fan service,
The fan service, it was in the background.
Yeah.
Like, again, like if you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, I mean, just that
there was
part.
still plenty of depth in story.
Right. So, I mean, they didn't lean on the fan service at all.
Yeah.
I feel it was just really cool to watch, though. I really, really liked it. I liked watching Rogue lose her shit.
Yeah,
I've been waiting for her to lose her shit. She's one of the most powerful mutants in the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
So she's like I think like the third.
I always forget that she can fly.
Yeah.
Because it's like no like.
Is it because
based on her power? There's no reason she flies.
That's part of her.
I'm not 100% sure what her powers are. What I just know she absorbs.
She absorbs the powers and life force of any other person.
She keeps the powers?
No, it wanes after a while.
Okay.
Like, it takes a while, but it goes away.
They did it.
And she can fly?
They did it at the beginning of one of the other. She absorbed maybe Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
A lot of Captain Marvel, and it just stuck with her.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I believe whoever's listening, correct me by all means.
And they will.
And they will. It was an earlier episode, maybe like in season 2 or something like that, where we find out that she was actually Mystique's daughter. Well, Mystique adopted her.
Yeah.
And so we see like some of her backgrounds, like she was a villain. Essentially, Rogue was a villain, and I believe
it's a very villainous power.
Oh yeah, so I believe it was Captain Marvel that she absorbed her power and she just kept it. Like they were sharing like the
This is why she's really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's also no reason for her to be that strong.
That explains it.
Tooling shit up.
So I think that's what it is. She got the flight and the strength.
Yeah.
And because they were sharing too much of the same, it just stuck with her.
You know what's really cool? Like a really cool detail I just noticed. I was watching the credits, and it goes through like some of the heroes on that grid.
Yep.
But it never touches Rogue, and I really wanted to see what it would say. You know, like a little description of what their powers. And I was wondering why they wouldn't get to Rogue, because it was like I think it was Magneto, Rogue, and one other person.
Every episode.
No.
I thought it
was
did.
no. It was just in like it was in an order, and then it just goes in a random order. But those 3 are never touched.
Really?
So I was like, why am I never getting Rogue? That's why. It's because there's just too much to why she has.
Yeah.
Because she has absorption, but she also has flight because of another thing. But it's not technically like.
Yeah.
That wasn't really part of the gene, but it's technically part of the gene.
I've really
I feel like that might actually be why.
Okay.
Magneto, it's a little on the nose, so I guess you don't really need to.
You don't.
And it takes some time, but but it never touched on Rogue, and I was like, I feel like that's kind of an important one.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. Also, another thing I noticed was with what's the other Jean Grey's name?
Madeline.
Madeline something. Yeah, I've got Madeline, but I don't remember the
Shit.
But it shows Madeline, right? And her hair is down and stuff.
Yeah.
But as Jean Grey. But once it's revealed that she's a clone and we see the real Jean Grey, the credits change her hair to the hair that's up for Jean Grey.
Okay. Well, yeah, because you need to have the separation of the two.
Yeah.
So we as
So it was like a little.
viewer,
It was a little like ooh. This is actually Jean Grey.
So, yeah,
that was not Jean Grey.
I like.
And like in the credits too, and like in the intro as well. I'm like, oh, damn, that's awesome. Like it just, it was like a subtle thing, but it was cool.
Madeline.
Oh, so it's just Madeline.
Just credits her as Madeline.
Because she does say a last name, which is weird.
There is there.
Yeah.
Another really, really cool thing that I like is
So much cool
the voice actors. There's 4 voice actors that came back to do the same characters.
Oh, I know one of them was Jubilee.
No.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
No, I knew there was Jubilee and then there was old Jubilee, right?
No, Jubilee is 2 separate people from 95 to 97.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, don't keep us in suspense, Larry.
Oh, well, I thought you were going to go. Beast, the voice actor for Beast is the same person from the old to the new.
Nice.
The person that does Wolverine, same from old and new. The person that does Rogue, even though they sound a little different.
I mean, she's a little older.
But she's older, right? So that's
30
why.
years older.
It's the same person. And the woman that does Storm is the same person.
That's cool. That's really cool that they were able to get them back.
What made me think of that is when I heard Storm speak, like the first episode that I saw, and I heard, I hear Storm speak, I go, no for nothing, but that's pretty like on the nose of what Storm sounded like. So I looked it up to see who plays who. And those 4 characters, it's the same person that plays both of them.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
That's
pretty cool.
That's really cool that they would come back for this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Ross Marquand plays Professor X. He's a Walking Dead fame. He's the guy. He does a lot of voices. Mm-hmm. He's also the guy that replaced Hugo Weaving as Red Skull. So Red Skull did the original American, Captain America movie, but when they brought him into the Infinity War saga.
That wasn't the same guy.
No.
Well, there's a lot of makeup and
it was Hugo.
And he's all
it was
like
Hugo Weaving originally, but Ross Marquand does a great Hugo Weaving impression.
Oh.
So they brought him in to do it. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, he does a lot of impressions. He's really good at that. That's one of the ones he does.
Nice.
So he was really good at it.
Like, why not just go all the way?
So they did it. Yeah. Yeah, he's really good. He's known for that. So that was kind of cool. What were some of your favorite story arcs in the show? Because there's a bunch. I mean, obviously there's the overall story arc, but there's a bunch of smaller ones.
Shit, I don't know. I think just watching Magneto finally kind of like lose his shit.
I liked Magneto's storyline. Yeah. I think Magneto's was my favorite.
I was really into watching Magneto. Honestly, I remember watching this episode, and I was on the Peloton. And when they all go after him, and they're like, we gotta fucking stop this guy.
Yeah.
And Wolverine was like, fucking finally.
Yeah.
And Wolverine sticks him, gets him right from behind. He sticks
it's funny
him.
that Wolverine always tries to take the first shot at Magneto.
Wolverine's been trying to kill Magneto for years, and he finally got his chance, and he sticks him right through, and you see the claws come through, and he's like, Magneto's like, oh no, I'm fucking done with you, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Buddy, listen to him, Mr. Made out of fucking metal. I'm done with you. And he splits him. And I was like,
all the fucking metal off
skeleton out.
I'm like, holy shit, he's gonna kill And that's when I started going, oh my god, they're just gonna start killing people.
But you still can't kill him.
You can't kill him.
But you can pull all the metal out.
Yeah, so he started just ripping out the metal on him. I'm like, oh my god, you're fucking shredding this guy. Jesus. And that's when I was like, this series is so good because we're watching people die for reals. He's like, we saw Gambit. You still believe that he's alive?
No, but you never know.
Yeah.
No, but you never know.
I didn't see a body.
Hey, listen, but the way that it ended, it makes me wonder now.
Well, no, I mean they really tried to put a finality.
Finality?
Thank you. Onto it. Like we're like, okay, we buried him. We gave a good service. If we brought him back, it would really do a disservice.
Yeah, but you see at the end,
ending of this character.
Right, but we see at the end though, current day apocalypse.
Right.
and he's got the card.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, is he gonna try to bring fucking Gambit back?
I mean,
from the dead?
That's the thing. Ooh. You don't fucking know.
Right.
So, A, it's a comic book, and B,
nothing
it's a
simple
cartoon.
for the X-Men.
Nobody has to stay dead.
Right. So, but when I saw
they
him,
always say comics, the only people who have to stay dead are Uncle Ben and Bruce Wayne's parents.
That's it.
Those are like the only two people who have to stay dead.
Yeah. I mean, when they killed Gambit, I remember talking about it, and you're like, they're not dead. I was like, I don't know. You were right on the whole Magneto not being dead. But that whole scene, like them killing the mutants and Gambit.
I was wrong how or why, but yeah.
Right. You know, but killing off Gambit and then watching that happen.
What I'm also glad is they explained why we couldn't do it the way I said. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought it was the Cable thing. Well, I thought because Cable was going back in time.
Oh, yeah,
and he kept saying,
right.
like, every fucking time I come here to deal with this, it keeps fucking up.
Yeah.
He's like, not again, right?
Yeah.
So it sounded like he had been there before to try to stop this catastrophe. He's like, all right, I guess I gotta go back a little bit further and do this again. Well, but they kind of basically made it that fixed point in time for him to realize he can't ever fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, all right, like so at least they dealt with it.
That has to happen.
Yeah, like I like that. Like, all right, you figured it out. You said it. We can kind of move forward on that and not keep wondering if like why won't he just go back and do it again?
Nope.
Right, it's kind of like that Doctor Who thing, right? Certain things are fixed points in time that
exactly.
can't fixed. So I did appreciate that.
Yeah. They did say they do good explanations.
Yes.
You know,
they did them like they explained everything really
and there
well.
wasn't too much exposition. There you go, Larry.
Yay! I got that written down in my notes. Exposition. No, so they did such a great job with it. And also, what I was saying is when I saw them like willfully killing off characters, I'm like, oh, this is gonna get fucking deep.
It's getting real, yeah.
This is like getting
so
real.
Cool.
And the way that they drew the characters, they didn't veer too far off from the original series, which I appreciate.
Yeah, and they meant like they really said
like
they were going to do that.
you can see that they have a little bit of a different edge to it. A little
2024,
bit.
but
yeah, but they for the most part stayed really, really close to the original look of the series. You know, so I could appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
I love that this is literally just the next season. It's not a different show at all.
It's not a different show. It's not supposed to be in a different timeline.
Yeah, it's everything is right where it needs to be. The little details that they put on this, I appreciate so much. Magneto. If you watch Magneto in the First Class, the movie.
Yep.
He has a serial number on his left arm.
Is it the same?
It's the same fucking number.
Oh, that's cool.
So you see it in the first
That's
time
a
in
good
First
detail.
Class, the movie.
I love the attention to detail.
Right.
That's amazing.
So now they put it in the cartoon and they show it. When she's talking to Magneto, right before she lets him go, and he's like, I've been in these positions before, you know, chains, whatever, don't bother me. And she's like, look at it. She looks right at his arm, and she sees his number on the left.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy fuck, and I had to pause and go, wait a minute, is it? And then I went back, and obviously I looked it up,
right?
And they carried it through from the movie to the animated series.
That's really cool.
Like,
detail.
That's fucking good.
Oh, was it the same?
Yeah, same number, absolutely.
Nice.
So it's like those little details I very much like.
Yeah.
You know, when we see Nightcrawler, like I said, we see Nightcrawler, and he references how he saw them in the fucking monastery. He sees him there, and he references Rogue as his sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
then I can gather something.
You're like, all right, something happened, but okay, they're related. Cool. You find more about. They do more of a backstory on that back in season 3, I think it was. But on this, it doesn't take you away from it. So it lets you know all these other stories that are going on. But the biggest story arc that I like was just fucking Magneto finally just losing his shit.
Yeah.
And going, this is what I'm fucking gonna do.
I'm shutting it down.
I'm shutting this whole fucking planet down. Boom. See you later. Bye bye.
I'll let you know when I want to flick the switch back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
What about you?
Yeah.
I think my least favorite was not only Professor X's off-world Shi'ar,
the whole shit with the Shi'ar was in a
like gonna get married, and like,
that was kind of weird.
Really, and the bird people, and like they didn't like him, and I just found that to be kind of a big waste of time.
I also felt the same
It was
thing.
just like, I get it.
I had a feeling it started from before, but I was like, I felt like such kind of like a
where he had to go to do, and I get it, but
reason.
And maybe at some point it'll pay off more, but it just didn't really feel like it paid off in any kind of way. Like, I think it was lengthy to get him back, but it had to be.
Yeah.
Right, because he had to come back when he came back. Right, he couldn't come back too early. He had to come back exactly that right time. But it just seemed like a whole bunch of waste of time.
And it had like no impact on anything either.
Right.
Other than him not being there.
What was happening on Earth. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that was kind of like, that was a lot of filler for me of stuff I didn't really need to know.
Yeah.
Because it didn't have any impact other than what he was going through. But what he was going through up there doesn't affect what he's going through down here so much.
Right.
I guess, right? Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I'm
like when
with
he's
you.
talking to them, when he's going through like when he was talking to the what's his face during like the almost like that schoolroom scene.
Yeah. When he gets into their minds.
Yeah.
And that his whole point was to just show them how, everything that they're against them being together is literally what they were founded on.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, here it is. Like, you didn't like each other, but yet your whole everything was based on two people that weren't supposed to be together.
Right.
And you shit on us. And,
so that didn't seem.
And it brings him to like that he needs to be with his X-Men.
Yeah. That, and I think like. Yeah, I didn't feel like Wolverine had enough of an arc for me.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of like he was a secondary character.
His was at most like, I like you, Jean Grey.
Yeah,
I just wish you liked me.
And that was always a thread.
That's
and that was his whole thing.
It's always been a thread, and it's just kind of like, again, it's always been a thread, so it connected to the old show, but it didn't really have a place in this one because there was so much with Scott and Jean and the other Jean. You know what I mean? Like that was so much happening.
That was a little
there.
shitty at times too.
Yeah, and there was so much happening there that we didn't really need the Wolverine loves Jean's aspect of it as well. Mm-hmm. So I guess that didn't really need to be there. You know, there was,
Can I say
like so much big shit happening on the Earth? Like, really, do you need to worry about your
Luckily, it didn't take up too much time about that. It was just like a couple of quick scenes going like, hey, he kind of likes her. Anywho. Like a lot. Anywho. Like, I gotta say, what was up with Rogue and Magneto? I get it. She can like touch him, but like.
So that was actually a little surprising to me. I was like, I don't remember.
Much older.
So
that's a bit of an age gap.
December romance happening there.
I'm like, damn. You got taste.
So I guess that when she was working for Magneto's crew, so it was her, Mystique, Juggernaut.
It was the Brotherhood, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was the Brotherhood. Yeah. So she was working with them, and so he was kind of like. He just, I don't know, just like every other old fucking guy that's just seems so much eloquent and, this he was very pompous and, she was just this hillbilly was like, oh my God, this man knows books and he knows art and it's like, you kind of let go of the age thing and so she fell in love with him and because she was able to touch on him. It was like that's something that she never had before. So it didn't affect her. She was able to feel all those things. So now he comes back. It's like fuck this guy. It's our ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
So regardless of the age, it's still the guy. It's still the person.
And then poor Gambit's whole storyline is pining after Rogue.
Oh my God! Like
that was his whole storyline.
Like he's been pining after her for years, and they've always had this connection. But it was always we can't touch each other.
Right. Yeah. There's always that love at a distance.
And it was like, and it was like, oh my God. Like,
kissing through glass, like you can't do anything.
Yeah. It's a new take on Dental Dam for the whole body. So like he just, what?
The Naked Gun reference when they have the two body condoms.
Body condoms.
They fall in the bed together, there's just one giant condom.
I mean, so that's why so when he sees her going, oh my God, he's back and she can actually have an affection and touch.
They're making another one, you know that, right? Naked Gun.
Yes, with Liam Neeson.
Are they really? Yeah. That's really funny.
Liam Neeson. Speaking of remakes, they're doing. Or is it going to be a continuation?
It might be.
In 1/4.
It might be.
I would assume it'd be a continuation.
It might be.
That'd be pretty cool. I hope so. But yeah, so that was that whole relationship between them. And that kind of. I felt so bad for Gambit. I was like,
the poor guy.
Like the poor fucking guy. Like he's been after this girl for so long, and here it's like, oh yeah, well why don't you just go get with your new man, eh? I was like, oh, fucking poor Gambit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I felt bad.
What do you think of the whole morph aspect of it?
I don't know. So I have a question. When did Morph go completely alien white like?
I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea. I don't remember too much about that character.
I don't either. It's like, so we saw him in episode 1, and that's where he gets killed by the Sentinel. He gets brought back by Mr. Sinister, and he's going through those years of trying to like get Sinister off the whole mind control. So we saw a couple episodes of that. He gets cleared from that, and he's supposed to be finding himself. That's and that's like that. He kind of leaves the X-Men, and so we all know that. And then he comes back, and he's supposed to be back to normal. Yay! But he went mute. Like he went like chameleon looking like, and I'm like, I don't. That's what he reminds me of. He looks like the chameleon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I don't mind the character, but something that's always made me wonder is he can morph into these people, but how does he get their strength and their superpowers?
I was wondering that. I was like, is that part of his abilities?
Always kind of a weird
is
thing.
Being able to get others'
Because if
abilities
that's the
by
case,
becoming them?
I would just be that other person all the time. Like that would make them that would make Morph the strongest mutant.
Sure.
Yeah.
He
Like
could just
him.
be Magneto if he wanted
He
to.
could be Magneto. He could be
And turn the
Apocalypse.
Earth
He
back
could be
on.
Right?
Yeah, like he could.
Or is it just their
be,
strength, you know? Is it their abilities or is it just
cool.
their like strength
I
or
don't-
something?
Super cool.
No, because here's.
Because I
he
didn't
turns
see
into
him.
the Hulk at one point, and he gives him
Right.
the Sonic slap.
Yeah.
Sonic clap, whatever. And it's like, all right, well, why can't you just turn into Magneto and reverse the fucking effect? Or why can't you be Apocalypse? Why can't you be any of these other super strong fucking mutants? Like at all.
That was a little jarring when he turned into the Hulk. I was like, wait a minute.
And they does it so like in the first run of the series, like you see him morph into different characters. Like he wasn't in a lot of episodes. You see him morph into different like human characters to like almost like because I remember him like morph into Senator Kelly at that time. That was President Kelly, but like morph into Senator Kelly to get certain things passed. And he was supposed to like morph into Gambit when he was under Sinister's power still and assassinate Kelly. Oh no, that was Mystique. Scratch that. He just morphed into like smaller bit parts. Where in this one, he's morphing into like fucking the Hulk and all these like he was morphed into the Hulk. He morphed into Angel at one point. I'm like, all right, just stay that character. I don't. I've never really understood that guy.
I wonder if it's only like physical abilities and not like mental abilities. You know what I mean? Like maybe just like, oh, this one has wings, so I can fly.
I mean,
this
if you morph
so
and all of a
I can
sudden you
use
have
that.
wings on your back, then you should be able to fly.
Right, you know?
But I think like if
But,
you
like, I don't think
morph
you
and
could
you're
do
giant
Magneto.
and huge, then okay, maybe you'll have the Hulk strength in essence, but you didn't have the gamma radiation to become that strong.
Right.
Okay, so you can make an argument either way, but yeah, I think you're right. If you morph into somebody who looks like Magneto, it doesn't mean you have Magneto's powers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or Rogue's powers where you can absorb people or something like that.
Yeah, but I feel that I don't know.
How does his X gene have everybody's powers involved in it just because he turns into looking like them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Mystique doesn't.
That's right. Yeah, because she does the same thing, but she
can
doesn't
morph
get.
into anything she wants. She can morph into look like Wolverine, but like her claws, Wolverine claws are not actual adamantium.
Right. They just look like.
They just look like it, but they don't actually work the same way.
Yeah.
Huh. That is bizarro. Which I mean, out of all the characters, whatever with him. Okay. Same thing with Forge.
He just kind of felt like, like the comedy side piece every once in a while to say something, and you go, "Oh, you're in this episode, awesome."
Forge was kind of the same.
I was
that's
Forge is like, okay, so he's a leader of Excalibur. Or is that the X that he's ahead of? It's him, Strongman, Polaris. There's a couple of that we see that in the last series too, like where the X-Men run into them and they're like, hey, we have the same fucking uniforms on. That's always, it's like, y'all had the blue and yellow. Same.
Y'all go to the same store to buy this shit? Or
Yeah.
It's an all government issue. Where'd you get
They
it?
pass it a cable, and he's like, "What are you expecting me to do with this?" And he's like,
Speaking
"What
of
did you want, leather?"
Black
I
leather?
was just gonna say that. I was like, oh my
That was
god,
awesome
because in the
reference.
movie, he
Yeah, it
goes,
was
what did you
reverse
want?
reference.
Yellow spandex?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, this is fucking great.
That was a great reverse
Yeah.
reference, yeah.
I thought that was really, really good.
That was really well done. I did enjoy that. I enjoyed that a lot. I find Jubilee to be a somewhat useless character. Obnoxious and useless character.
I like you. Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah,
I kind of liked Jubilee.
Of course you do.
Just because I thought she was like a good embodiment of someone who's just like really carefree, but in a world where you kind of need to care about things.
Yeah.
Like she can take things seriously, but she also makes sure to have time to like,
have fun,
make
person,
life,
yeah.
She's
semi-enjoyable.
I mean, she's supposed to be a little kid.
Yeah.
She's supposed to like
she
a
like in
teenager,
one of the episodes she like
Young
just
adult,
turned 18.
teenager,
like
Yeah.
you know?
She's like a young adult. Yeah.
Yeah, well, she just turned 18.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I enjoyed her character because she felt more like a breath of fresh air, you know? Like just going like, hey, you can still enjoy life as well, you know, as like
While we're
trying to
saving the
rescue
world.
things, you know?
Yeah. As the world's
Having
going to
time
shit.
for like a boyfriend and going to the arcades, you know, and going to meet his parents only for him to, you know, go, I should have turned around, shouldn't I?
And what about Sunspot? What were your thoughts on?
I liked his mutant ability of allowing others to explain what's going on to him. So honestly, very grateful for Sunspot.
Yes.
But that's really it, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't. I was
useless.
not.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wasn't married to the character, but
yeah, I feel that I feel that his character in the X-Men don't work. Like he should be in like the New Mutants or
Yeah.
or one of those other ones.
Well, I think that's kind of that's more of where they should shuffle him off to. Like, all right, you're still kind of a newbie, and you go to New Mutants, and you know, work out your issues there, and then come back and see us when you're ready.
Yeah.
At this point, because you're not ready.
Yeah.
You're definitely not ready.
All right, so
I appreciate his existence.
Yeah.
so I'm on the Marvel Wiki.
Wiki.
Morph is a shapeshifter.
Wiki.
You're done.
No.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes,
Cool.
yes,
Are you sure you don't want one more?
I'm good.
No? Okay, all right.
Morph is a shapeshifter, transforming his body and voice to impersonate anyone he desires.
Yeah.
Much like Mystique, while he can approximate the powers of people with physical mutations, he is unable to gain the powers of any other mutant he turns into.
Okay, so that's what I thought. Yeah. So only physical stuff,
Yeah,
and not
so,
even like
you got
Hulk's
wings,
power.
so that's
just the fact that he has
that
muscles.
I don't understand, because then if you morph into Angel, he's got wings, you fly, cool. You morphed into the Hulk, that sonic slap, that's
It's
one
power.
of...
It's power.
Is that just
one
like
of
a
the other
mutant power, it's
characters
just
did
power.
that?
It's
Straight
He's
power.
so strong
Yeah.
that when he
Okay.
slaps like that, it creates a sonic boom.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily.
It's such a quick, hard slap because of his strength that it creates a sonic blast.
All right, so then that would...
Like, it's only hits at the sound of the speed of sound.
Okay, so then if he was to turn to Magneto, he can't... He doesn't have...
Electromagnetics, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, word.
Got it. That makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah. And
What do you think of all the other Marvel cameos? Captain America, Daredevil, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Omega Red.
Dude, yes.
I thought they were cool.
Fucking bring it all.
Yeah.
I want it.
Again, I'm always a sucker
all.
for Daredevil on screen.
Yeah,
I go,
you are.
yay!
Yeah.
And the others, I was like, oh my gosh! Like it was like super cool seeing like Captain America and Iron Man, just to see that they're like
And Omega, yeah.
in this world.
Well,
Spider-Man
Omega
for a
Red was
hot
really
second.
cool.
Yeah.
You know.
Which makes
At
me think...
first, I thought they weren't going to do it. I thought they were allowed to do some of them because of the Avengers stuff. And they didn't want it kind of crossing over yet.
I mean,
like
it's
Spider-Man and
they're
things like
they're
that, but
going
then
to lean,
eventually, like, hey.
they're going to lean into it. We're gonna have it, so you might as well fucking get into it.
But they're talking about that now too, like doing offshoot series with like Daredevil. And,
Yeah.
you know what I
Right.
mean, doing other cartoons in the same
introducing-
vein, taking some of those offshoot cameo characters and making their own series.
Yeah,
out of them.
I mean,
Which I think would be awesome.
introducing these characters into the X-Men '97 animated series, it just shows that these are all the same fucking MCU. This is our world now. This is our timeline. I love it. I love all of it. I want more of it. I want more of that shit. I can't wait for X-Men to be fucking introduced onto the live action scrring. That's always
They
been
got a
my...
writer, didn't they, for the movie?
I don't know.
Writer? I read it
don't
somewhere.
know.
And I'll have to look it up. You can look it up. I think it is somebody good too, like somebody we know who did something. I have to look it up while we're doing this, but yeah. Oh fuck! Who is it?
I want to see what Michael Leslie, writer of last year's Hunger Games prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. was bagged the coveted. So the search for a writer to helm the project began in late 23 after the Hollywood strike ended, with Marvel reportedly meeting with various different screenwriters for the job. Ultimately, it was Michael Leslie, writer of last year's Hunger Games prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, who bagged the coveted job. I'm okay with that. I saw that movie. It was actually pretty fucking good.
Okay.
I did not.
Oh, really?
It was cool. I mean, I like the Hunger Game movies.
Yeah.
Those were fun. I never read the books, so I don't know what's wrong with it or what's missing.
I read the books and I've watched the movies. I liked both of them.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I never read the books. I saw the movie and I was like, this is pretty fucking cool. I liked it. I saw the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes on the plane. I was like, this is pretty fucking cool. You see how snow becomes how snow becomes snow.
Right.
So I thought that was written well.
Okay.
If that's the guy that's going to take on X-Men, I'm okay with it.
Cool.
All right. Again,
which is why I brought it up. I wanted to see if you knew who he was and what your take on it was.
By describing that, I said, I just saw that movie.
Yeah.
So and I didn't.
Wait, what's his name?
Michael Leslie. Can't wait to watch Wolverine and Daredevil.
Deadpool.
Deadpool. I don't know. That's like the 5th time I've said that.
It's okay.
I don't know why.
I think I did it once too.
Yeah.
That's right.
I can't wait for that movie to come out because that is going to set it all in motion, I feel. And again, the X-Men is something that I've been craving for. We did the X-Men podcast last year.
Yeah.
Okay. I really did like those movies. I absolutely did. All 3 of them.
Yep.
Obviously it comes down a little bit, but still, even the worst one was not bad at all.
No.
It was the Last Stand, which was, I feel, better than some of the other ones that came out, and that's supposed to be the bad one, right?
Yeah.
So I
like that one.
Yeah.
I know there was some slow points like in the forest and stuff like that, but other than that, I was.
Yeah, but that almost introduces you to Magneto and the Savage Land. Almost, right?
Yeah.
Which we saw in the series, but I like that. So when they came out with First Class, I didn't mind it. I didn't like the characters that they chose to represent the quote-unquote First Class.
Oh yeah, that was not.
But I
because it's fucking around with the original.
It's fucking around with the original, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's like,
which I thought was great in this cartoon series. We have the poster, the picture.
Yeah,
on the wall with
the
real Iceman who looks like the original drawn comic book
looks like
version.
A snowball.
Yeah, it's fucking on the original Beast where he wasn't blue.
Right, he was just a gorilla-looking guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, when I saw like the new X-Men movies, I was so
Did they
mad.
ever explain that, by the way? Sorry to interrupt.
On how he just mutated to turn blue?
Yeah,
I think it was just a mutation that just took over and he went blue.
In First Class, they explained it as like something wildly different. Because his gene in First Class was just having like hands for feet.
Yeah.
And then he hated his stupid ability. Frankly, I don't blame him
right.
so much that he injected himself with an experimental cure.
Yeah.
But it turned him blue and fuzzy. And
that's not how that works.
No.
That's not how that worked. No, his X gene just kind of mutated.
Yeah. What's funny is I actually, when I was first watching those X-Men movies, I had never watched the cartoons. I had no prior knowledge of anything. I had a lot of fun watching the X-Men movies. Like those ones that came out. Like First Class, I was like, this is so cool. Like watching them, I was like, this is so cool.
Absolutely.
As an objective, like movie, it's a fun movie if you hadn't seen the prior stuff.
And so when I watched that, I was so mad at the original X-Men movies when I first watched them.
Yeah.
I was very upset with it because I was like, these are not the original X-Men. Why the fuck is Bobby Drake a teenager while, Scott Summers is one of the teachers? They came in together, granted. So, Bobby was...
It could be an age difference, but not that much.
So Bobby was the youngest out of all 5 of them by, a year or 2. They were all young children. I think the oldest was Scott. I think Scott and Jean, I think, were 18.
Yeah.
And I think Bobby was maybe 16. But they were all right there. They were teenagers. They were adolescents. That's the original X-Men. So when I saw the first movie, I was like, "What the fuck?" Bobby Drake was with Rogue. No, Rogue doesn't come until way later. So I needed to.
And neither does Wolverine.
Right, neither does Wolverine. So I don't know why, but they wanted to do something with a popular character, and they knew that Wolverine was the popular character, and that's why they didn't put a Gambit because at that time those were the top 2.
Although First Class, in that movie, They do try to go to Wolverine, and it's more like he's just like a cameo of going like, oh, so this Wolverine, because he just goes, fuck off, and they go, all right, and they leave.
So that was a cool like little throw in because we don't know how old
that
Wolverine
was a cameo.
is. Wolverine goes back to like World War I, right? So that's how long he's been around.
Yeah.
Even earlier than that.
Yeah.
So that
actually Civil War. Or Revolutionary War, I forget.
I think
it was more Civil War.
When the James Howlett stuff began in the origin.
I think it was like in the 1800s or something like that.
Yeah, it's in the origin series, yeah.
So that was really cool, but so I was so angry at the first X-Men movie that I had to go back to watch it because I had to take off, because like I watched with my friend and he was like, oh my God, it was such a great movie. I was like, no, that fucking movie sucked. He goes, how could you say that? And I was watching it as a comic book person. I was like, those aren't the original members. Like, they're there, but they're not. And then you just added these other components to it. That's not what I wanted to watch. Yeah. But I got used to it, and I said, let me go watch it again. I very much enjoyed it. So when I saw First Class, I knew that it wasn't going to be what I wanted, but it was still fine. It was still good.
Like, it had some really good points, good moments, good characters.
Yeah, and the way that they introduced the characters, I was like, oh, you're going to give me Banshee? You're going to give me Havoc? Oh, all right, I'll watch that. Okay, you're gonna give me Beast, so you gave me an original. All right, I'll take that. You know, adding Mystique to it, that whole storyline, I was like, ooh, that's a little weird, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so they kind of.
I mean, it started to go off the road a little bit when we got to Age of Apocalypse, and then the Jean Grey, Phoenix stuff at the end.
Yeah. Okay, I remember watching Dark Phoenix, and that was the last thing I'd seen for X-Men in a while, and I was like, this sucks. They gotta stop.
I was not happy with the Apocalypse.
And Apocalypse, I did not like that.
Sucked. I wasn't happy with the Apocalypse. I wasn't happy with the Dark Phoenix.
Yeah,
I mean,
Dark Phoenix was dog water.
The whole First Class saga, that trilogy, I was good with it. I liked them.
Yeah,
I appreciated them for what they were. They took the storylines and they twisted them up a little bit. All right, fine, if that's what you want to do, I'm okay with it. Not really, but whatever. So watching the X-Men '97 literally take off from the '90s series.
Yeah,
and now knowing that Deadpool and Wolverine are gonna come, they're gonna kind of kill off the Fox universe and kill off everything else and bring everything back to the MCU. I cannot wait to watch the X-Men. I can't wait for Mutants. Like, this is my bag. When it came to the comic books, they were my number one.
Yeah.
And that's.
Did you ever watch that Chris Claremont documentary?
Absolutely.
It's good, right?
So good.
It is good.
So good.
Yeah.
It was really good. I mean,
it was basically like Chris Claremont's X-Men.
Yeah, I mean, he started with Uncanny.
Yeah, he took them on for how long? A couple of decades?
Yeah, it was like 30 years that he took them on. And, and his whole idea with it was, we want to take real life situations. And that's what they used to they would sit there and talk about, like, well, what's affected us? What, and this is also the 60s, 70s, and 90s, so they had to, like, they took real world situations and they put it into these comics. It's like, right, they have to have relationships, they have to have love affairs, they have to have death, they have to deal with all these emotions. And at the same time they got to go fight fucking Magneto, Apocalypse, and so they did a great balance. And by introducing all these different mutants too, and
an overall underlying theme of oppression and things like that, and bigotry.
I mean the main reason why the Uncanny X-Men came out was because before, the X-Men were just 5 white kids. There was no diversity.
Yeah.
Uncanny X-Men, we had a Canadian, a black woman, a Native American. I think there was an Asian. I think, I want to say Sunspot. It's not Sunspot, though. I forgot what the Asian...
Is it Jubilee?
No. I'd have to look it up. But that's where Banshee came in, because they wanted to bring in these different nationalities, different races to show equality.
Because if you're looking all around the world, why are you only looking at
it's
only 5 white kids. I'm like, all right.
Being trained by this one bald white guy.
So when they did the Uncanny, they brought in these different nationalities and different sexes and different races and different beliefs, and I was like, this is fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
And it took off, and again, like they introduced us to so many different mutants that they all essentially became X-Men, and then they ventured on. Then we had Excalibur, where Nightcrawler was the lead of, and that was over in England, and it was really cool. That whole X thing, like the big umbrella, was so good, and and it kind of gave the writers, I feel, a little way of a way out. Every other character was like, you're Spider-Man because you got bit by a spider.
Yeah.
You're Hulk because you got hit by gamma rays. You're Captain America because you got hit with a super soldier serum.
They didn't have to come up with ways they became
how? It's like, you know what, you just are.
Just are. It's a gene.
It's a gene.
It's
You
just
just
naturally in you.
Cool. That works. I like that.
And it can be infinite.
Ding.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody's gonna be bit by a spider. So how many fucking people can you have bit by a spider, or how many different tragedies can you have to make you a superhero or villain?
Yeah.
Anybody can have a gene in them that creates this, you know, this mutation.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, are we distracting you from?
No, I'm actually looking up the Uncanny X-Men.
Oh gosh, okay.
No, it's reference to what we're looking up. Don't give me. I just sat here and talked for like 15 fucking minutes. I stopped for 2 seconds to look up something
we need
regarding.
more Larry.
I stopped talking to and to look at something about X-Men, and I get the. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we distracting you?
Hey, I'm gonna look this up. Hey, I'm gonna look this up. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. Nothing. Just I'm gonna be over here. You all talk.
Well, because I didn't want to distract the people that are listening by going, hey, let me stop everybody and go. I'm gonna look this up real quick.
Maybe they want to know what you're doing.
No, you don't. Nobody ever wants to know what I'm doing. Ever.
There it is. All right, good. What was my other question? I had.
Who cares?
Fuck.
Well, I guess that's that, everybody.
That's Entertainment Rant. If you need us, let us know. So, season 2.
Yep.
Clearly, Apocalypse, Age of Apocalypse.
Oh, so yeah, let's talk about the end of this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As we're at 52 minutes.
Oh,
my son
okay.
is nagging my wife to find out where I am to get me home.
Sorry, Christian.
Multiple times, that's enough. He literally said, "Where?" The last quote was this. Before you jump into it, I gotta hear you. I gotta tell you what my wife said about what Christian said. It says, "Please text when you are leaving. We will go out. He's anxious to see you and get going. He said this is too much podcasting, whatever that is." He's 4, by the way.
This is too
So
much.
Chris Claremont was 75.
Whatever that is.
Chris Claremont, he ran it from 75 to 91. So that gives you the idea.
Good save.
Thank you. Of how long he was with the X-Men.
Crazy hands, Larry.
The ending of this season was fucking awesome.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, dead. Missing.
Exactly. Asteroid M basically blips out of existence.
Yep, and people split.
Yep. And they go to 2 different timelines.
Everyone went to Egypt except for
and
Scott
future.
and Jean went to the far future.
But who do they see in the far future?
Little Cable.
Little Nathan. And he
little
goes,
Nathaniel.
Mom and Dad. And they're like, holy shit. And these guys, they go in the past. And who do they run into? Did you catch who that was?
I don't remember. I don't know who that was.
It was Apocalypse. He's the first mutant.
I had a feeling that was Apocalypse.
Yeah.
That was my suspicion, but I wasn't like 100% sure.
So that's Apocalypse. That's the first
Because I didn't know his
mutant.
original look.
So now, my question is, because this is going on, how much does that change?
Right?
Right? So now, is that going to be part of the MCU? Are they going to somehow tie in the movies with that? Is this all canon now?
I don't know. That's a great question. Are they going to tie in this cartoon to the movies?
I almost feel like you have to,
and let it affect the movies.
Everything else has been canon. Everything.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's some sort of little thing that they throw in there to tie it into something else. So this is all got to be canon.
Right.
So this could be an explanation of where have they been.
Right.
You know, they can use this as that. Mm-hmm. You know, and then when we see him in the live, it's like it changes everything because they have Apocalypse at the beginning. Maybe they talk to him. I mean, they just saved Apocalypse's ass.
Yeah.
So maybe that changes Apocalypse's mindset of the whole mutant uprising or what he's been trying to do for all these thousands of years.
Yeah.
Maybe they just turned him into a nice guy now.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not a villain anymore.
Yeah.
So,
which will rub a lot of people the wrong way. Let's just face that fact.
Oh, of course it will.
Yeah.
It'll really
Of course
piss
it
people
will.
off. Old fans, people love Apocalypse.
Yeah.
As a character, things like that. So you obviously make Apocalypse a good guy. That's gonna not go over well with a lot of fans.
Yeah, no,
Let's face it. I mean, they did enough with Thanos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, changed him up a little bit and did what they did.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Not too much.
Not too
much.
much.
The whole death stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
what, the stuff that they pulled out of that and didn't really go deep into the original story of why he has the gauntlet and everything like that.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if they change up a little bit, I'm okay. Again,
No, I'm okay to change up a little bit, but
I'm at
just
the
flat
stage.
out make him a good guy.
Don't make him a good guy. I I've watched enough of these superhero movies.
You don't want to read those comments.
I know. I've watched enough of these superhero movies that I feel that it's like, you know what, man? I'm gonna give you a little bit of writer's creativity and just to kind of entertain me. You know, I've talked about that, but you have the source material. Please do not defer from it that much. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Don't swap powers. Don't swap characters. You've messed around.
Look at you, Miss Marvel.
Yeah, I mean you've messed up with storylines in the past just because. Let's not do that now. Yeah. Like don't.
Yeah.
Stick to storyline.
You know, with what's been happening recently and everything like, and all the sort of like backlash, it would behoove them, if you will, to get back on track and stick a little closer. I think that might help get them back on track.
Yeah.
And pull people back into the fold and fall back in love with a lot of what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, part of what they're doing is slowing down the amount of content they're putting out.
Yep.
And they've flat out said they're going to go more for quality than quantity.
Yep.
You know, they slow it down so they can take longer to do things and make it a better quality like they used to.
Yep.
And hopefully that means also sticking closer to the source material.
I hope so.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
I really hope they take that seriously because that's been really frustrating.
I think Iger wants them, like he wants to too, because he's kind of tired of like the flat out not making enough money.
Well, no,
not that they're not making money, but like some of them are just not making. They're not doing the big box office that they used to be doing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they make a profit, but they're not doing the 4 times the.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think they're getting.
You're not getting the
that.
same buzz.
They're not getting the same return on investment.
No, I mean I know people at work that haven't seen any of the shit that's on Disney Plus. They're like, yeah, I stopped watching. I think somebody stopped watching it at the Infinity Wars, the saga, like after those two.
Speaking of which, a couple of new things coming out. The new Agatha show is coming. They've changed that name 14 times. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
But they did that on purpose. Like that was a very well.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
There was a reason for that. Like they actually did a reason. Now it's called Agatha. It was Agatha all along. Like that's the new show title. Like because there was they actually did that on purpose. When they've just confirmed they're doing the new eventually a sequel to the Vision Wanda show. So it's basically gonna be White Vision. The next Vision show is going to start. They're going to start producing that one because we haven't seen him since he took off. The end of the I was
kind of wondering what happened to him.
Yeah, after WandaVision, he just takes off. We've never seen him, so they're going to do a whole Vision show.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't.
Which I think is going to be like. I don't think Wanda's going to be in it. I think it's just more about him and what happened to the White Vision.
I feel like I wonder what they're gonna do because
it's a side quest.
What can they do that original Vision hasn't already done? Going who am I? What am I to do on this earth? Is this?
That was really good. That was really good.
Thank you,
because you're exactly right.
Yeah, or White Vision Mr. Manhattan type stuff.
There's nothing different about White Vision and what we saw of him. It was kind of like, oh, well, then who am I?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, we literally did this already.
Oh shit, we're just picking up where he left off.
Vision just had this conversation in Age of Ultron, and everything else ever he's been.
He's gonna have White Vision do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yay.
The show.
I get to do who am I and why don't I have any color? Great.
Why am I white?
Yeah.
Must I be a faint copy of him?
Yes.
Am I a Xerox? I can't use Xerox. That's a trademark.
Yep.
Why is it me and Agatha in this show?
Who are you? Who am I? Why are we?
Yep. So there you go. Anything else about X-Men 97?
I'm just looking forward to the next season.
Yeah,
such a good show, man.
The show opener, the main title stuff.
No, that was so fun.
Fucking awesome.
It's so
and
fun.
Changes, right? It changed as
Yeah, which I thought was really cool too.
Yeah,
I was like,
just played the same one. It kind of had to do with what was happening and who was there. That was pretty cool. We talked about the sort of lawsuit, whatever. I haven't seen anything further.
I did.
As to what? Well, apparently the song is actually a ripoff of an old. I want to say Middle Eastern, Indian, something like that, TV show about superheroes or something like that. And I saw it online, and you see it almost like a 70s or early 80s type TV show by the quality of it, and it's really obvious. It's painfully obvious. It's almost exactly the same tune. Yeah.
Damn.
Oh shit, that is exactly the same shit.
Yeah, because it's funny. I'm picturing that in another show sequence, and I'm like,
it's
easily,
definitely there. So
I got it. The document for the plagiarism case 2020 verdict by the U.S. District Court of Southern District of New York states that Ron Wasserman's motion for dismissal was granted, but the verdict stopped short of establishing that the X-Men theme was original. So,
okay. So he dropped it because they were losing the case.
Yeah.
All right. Right?
Well, who dropped it?
It looks like X-Men was winning.
Really?
Yeah, Ross motion for dismissal
so
was
they
granted.
dropped it, yeah.
So yeah, he was like, deceased to get dismissed. And then they thought, they were like, yeah, right, yeah. The people that are filing are losing, so we're just going to dismiss it.
Yep. So I guess that's squared away.
Which is surprising because if you listen to it, it is really fucking obvious that it sounds just like it.
Well, so a lot of those shows and movies, though, are shot like that, but they were actually done in, like, the 90s or the 2000s, but they're shot like that.
Yeah, but it's easy to prove when it came out.
Yeah?
Like, you can see an original air date or when it was produced.
I thought this would have been, like, more of the original opening, but I guess not.
No, this looks exactly like the original opening. And the song is the original song from the original 90s X-Men.
Oh.
But the one that the court case, the show that they say it ripped off of, looked and sounded like it was older than that. Like it was almost 80s.
Oh, so they're like just bringing this back up.
Like, well, because of the popularity and the money it's making. Like, they're making money off of the song we wrote. Like, shit, let's just sue them. So I don't know. It could be wrong. Could be very wrong. Anyway, there you go.
There it is.
That's the show.
That is that.
That is all the news that's fit to print. That's an old reference. All right, gang. Thank you, Mila.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
We are Entertainment Rants at entertainmentrants.com. Find us online. Look us up on all your favorite podcast platforms. Check us out on Audible. Check out our YouTube channel. Hit that like, subscribe, and crush the notification button. Let us know what you think of the podcast. Write us a review if you'd be so kind on Apple Podcasts. We'd love to know what you thought of the show. We'd like to know what you thought about the X-Men 97 show. Tell us what you thought of the show. Give us your comments and feedback as well. Until next time, gang, what are we gonna do?
Rant.
I suppose we should rant.
We should rant it up.
We should rant, talk.
That's enough out of you.